Well, good afternoon. This is James with My Home Electrician, where we believe that success is a symptom of good relationships. Today, what we're going to talk about is generator backup systems and a couple different ways in general that you can get those done. Generator backup systems are super awesome because it gives you the flexibility in the event of a power outage, construction power outage, lightning strike tornadoes here in Texas. Gotta love it. There's lots of potential there for being without power, and you're just twiddling your thumbs waiting for power to come back on. So this is a great option to do less thumb twiddling and more time getting back to life as usual. Now, for some of you, this is more than convenience driven. This is a requirement. We've had clients that are quite literally paralyzed from the neck down, as well as several other different medical conditions that actually physically prevent them from going and getting these systems going, or that they are on a type of life support where basically if power goes out, they can die. And this is a really big deal. So having a power backup system is no longer just a preference, it is also a life or death situation. Sounds dramatic, but after doing a couple clients' projects, their client needs, and figuring out what they're actually looking for, we realize that it really can be a life or death issue being with or without power. So we're going to go over it. This box in the background is not something we install. You'll notice there's a whole bunch of stuff chopped out of here. This is actually something we took out. We removed this beautiful piece of love from somebody's house. A few issues with it. One, it was incorrectly installed to begin with, so it never actually worked. And number two, this is a older generation or older method for generator backup systems. This doesn't actually work in a home for generator backup that has current code compliant arc fault protection and GFI protection for a number of reasons. If you're a licensed electrician and you have stumbled across this page and you're like, dude, what the heck? Why doesn't this thing actually work? We've installed it like all the other ones. We can address that at another time as to all the reasons why it don't work the way it should with current systems. So this is just up here more or less as a prop of something that we've taken out and disassembled and simplified a design solution that was actually significantly less expensive than the old school solution for that particular client. And in fact, shout out to that client. I won't use his name, but he is one of our reviews even on Google for saving his project. Something that, side note, we do a lot of. We do a lot of project saving where contracts have dropped the ball, people have walked off, all kinds of great horror stories just with contractors. But anyway, I digress, derail, and rabbit trail, any other synonym, I do it frequently. So I don't apologize. We're going to do it anyway. So options for backup generation. Throwing that aside, because who needs that? In fact, that's a distracting prop at this point. We don't need that anymore. We have better ways to do things now. So in general, there are just two, that makes four, I'll make it two types of systems that people put in for generator backup. They meet two different needs, two different budgets, two different ways of doing things. There are automatic and there are manual. At least that's what we refer to them as. You might have them been told to you a different way, or maybe you don't know either one exists. So we'll go over both. First of all, let's cover automatic transfer switch systems. So it's just like it sounds, it's automatic. So you don't have to touch anything, you don't have to do anything. The system automatically turns on. You have a power outage, click, and automatically generator turns on, it clicks back over, and power magically comes back on after, I don't know, a 30-second or less delay. They're super cool. With that super coolness comes a hefty price tag. The big ones that most people will know would be Generac as well as Honeywell. Those are two manufacturers. Most people have heard of Generac. Big, massive gray box, about 30 inches by 48 inches, something like that, sitting on the side yard. It has some logistical challenges that come with it, but basically the goal of automatic transfer systems and the size of the unit that is being installed, or the size of the generator being installed, is dictated by your power usage. So if you have a house that doesn't have natural gas, or you have a house that is, so basically it's fully electric, and it's a really large house, obviously you're gonna need a larger generator because everything in your house is ran off of electrical or electric power. So they have to back up all of that. The net goal with automatic transfer systems and permanently mounted generators is to back up your entire house. So your forced air unit, which is like your heater in your attic or in your closet in a hallway somewhere, your AC units, your ovens, your cooktops, your dryer, you name it, all your big appliances that are just real big power hogs, they're going to end up being able to be backed up on this system because the system was designed around being able to back up everything in your entire house. Consequently, the super advanced automatic system also means, yeah, you guessed it, more money. So you're looking at a system that, in general, don't quote me because every house is different, has different power requirements, different generator sizing, different plumbing lines, new gas lines needing to be upsized usually because they draw more natural gas to the house. Or if you don't have that, having a tank installed in your backyard, a 250 to 500 gallon propane tank, so it can run. There are definitely some logistics there that come into play. Anything can be done, but it just does come down to cost. Depending on what's available, what we're trying to back up, what the house is doing, most of these installations have a wide range of installation cost. So you're looking at anything that has a cost from, I don't know, $15,000, $17,000 all the way up to, I've seen north of 25 grand to $30,000. That's a hefty price tag for something that is a backup system. However, like I said, for some people, that's necessary and could be life-threatening. So these things, despite their cost, do have a lot of value. Other clients of ours that have had us do automatic systems are people who have us install these systems on their off-the-grid house or their cabin or someplace that they're not routinely at, their vacation home. And if they lose power, it can mess up a lot of the systems that are in their home and they won't be there to turn the power on. So something that's automatic is really helpful. A lot of these systems also have the ability to connect to Wi-Fi. So from your phone, you can see when it's done a self-maintenance check. You can see when it's done a turn-on cycle, it's had to turn off, it had a power outage. When the power came back on, it tracks all of it. It's really cool. But like I said, the cool factor definitely comes with a price tag. The other option, if you're like, hey, 15 to $30,000 is well outside of my wheelhouse. I'm just a family guy who just wants to have some power turned on in the event that like the neighbor's leaving. We love the neighbor. Neighbors, good people. So, James, I just want to have power turned on when I need it. I don't mind doing a little extra work if it brings that total cost down, because really I just need to make sure my refrigerator doesn't die and doesn't lose all the food in it, to make sure that my water heater can run, that the kids and my wife and I can have hot showers still and be able to still use the microwave, turn on plugs and lights and everything else in the house. That would probably fall more in the realm of a manual transfer switch system. Manual implying what it sounds like, it's more manual. For those of you old enough to know, it's like a transmission in a car. A little more effort, but typically a huge cost savings in the electrical world. So what that means is that, and you can see photos on our Google page, as well as I think our website right now has those uploaded as well. You test me out on that and see if I'm making that up. Doing a manual transfer switch system, the most cost-effective, simple way is we install a product that is made by a company called Gen Interlock. You can check them out, they're at .com. And it physically slides up and down and basically blocks off manually the main breaker that's 200 amps and the generator breaker that is constantly in off position. What that means is that the generator and the utility company can't be on at the same time. It physically prevents it. So you just go on ahead and wheel out your generator, you set it up, you plug in the generator cord into the generator, you get it all started up, you plug it into what's called a generator inlet box that's right there on the outside of your house that we install, and start it on up, turn your main power off, turn on your generator breaker, and move that manual slide that we installed out of the way so it can turn on, and you're off to the races. At that point, your entire panel is using all of its existing breakers without having to add, well, what was here, and we tossed it, without having to mess with any other breakers. You literally just switch it straight over. If it trips the fuse or the push button fuse or toggle fuse system or overcurrent on the generator, you just go out, you turn off a few more circuits in your main panel because clearly you overloaded it, you turn it back on. In general, if you have electric heat in your house, you're not going to be able to cover your central heating and cooling system because they draw way too much power if they're electric. You're not going to be able to cover things like your oven, but you will be able to cover things like all of the plugs and lights in your house. You'll be able to cover, in general, if you get a 50 amp generator, you should be able to cover your electric water heater if it's a tank. Not a tankless, those draw a lot also. You'll be able to cover, that means your refrigerators, your microwave, your every other appliance and light you have in the house. You should be able to get all those things turned on with that manual system. It just requires a little more work on your part. Now down to the final number, it's what we all care about. James, the other one was $15,000 to $30,000. That's a huge price gap, and that's a lot of money to begin with, even on the low side. What does this one cost? Manual does have its place when it comes to your pocket. In general, most of them we can install between $600 and $1,200, depending on where we're locating everything and where that inlet box for the generator is going to go. And it takes significantly less time for us to install it in your home. So two different options, two different ways to get to the same general net goal. Manual can't do quite as much, but heating and cooling wise can also be accomplished, like I tell my clients, with plug-in space heaters and plug-in portable AC units, which come in dirt cheap by comparison to $15,000 to $30,000 for an automatic system. So if budget is your mindset and just bare bones minimum to get it done, and you don't mind doing extra work to get that done, I recommend to those clients manual transfer switch systems. Can't speak more highly enough of the Gen Interlock product. Very simple to install and very useful, very effective, as well as Generac and Honeywell. They also make a great product for the clients that we have that really do benefit from needing to have that kind of tech in their home. So at that point, you kind of have a general understanding between manual and automatic transfer switch systems. They both have a place, they both have a price point, and just decide which one works better for you. So until next time, this is James Adams with My Home Electrician, where we believe that success is a symptom of good relationships. I hope you have a fantastic day.